On the agenda tonight, we're going to be taking a look at Lucy Thomas, and she's going to be performing Have Yourself a Very Merry Christmas. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So this is really a leftover analysis from Christmas, and I think during Christmas we went through quite a lot of festive videos, and we also had a few videos that were pitch correction related. So I've kind of delayed this one because again, I think maybe people might not enjoy watching this particular video, but it has been requested and somebody's asked me whether this video is pitch corrected or not, and whether Lucy Thomas uses pitch correction. And I'm just going to do my normal analysis. I have isolated the vocal, run it through the pitch monitoring software, so we'll see what is going on. But let's have a listen and see how she does get on.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, your troubles will be out of sight.
I'm going to jump in here already. As always, there's a link in the description below if you want to watch it the whole way through without me interrupting it. But this is pitch corrected. There's no other way of saying it really. I mean, straight off the bat, we can see that again, we're stuck to 440 hertz here. And this is actually a really good example of why people are now using pitch correction rather than auto-tune, because with pitch correction, it doesn't affect vibrato. You can take a note that you've held and applied vibrato, and if it's flat or sharp, you can drag it to where you think it should be or where you think is most accurate. But again, another disclaimer here. Lucy performs live, she sings live, she doesn't use auto-tune live. So the videos that she has where pitch correction has been used, it's just been applied to her voice. And if she does the videos herself, then it's either being applied by her or whoever's producing her songs is applying it to her voice, hoping maybe to improve her voice, thinking that it's going to be better if it's over these lines all the time. So anyway, I mean, this kind of thing, the C#4 stuck to the line, F#4. But I mean, as soon as you hear it, it really does stick out. If you're used to hearing this kind of thing and you do a lot of production yourself, you'll know straight away as soon as the voice is being manipulated. But like I said, good example here, because you can hear the vibrato and how that's unaffected, but then the held notes, how they are affected by pitch correction. But we'll listen on to the isolated vocal.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay.
I mean, again, it's almost like when a note is stuck to F#4 in this case, but any note, it almost starts to have its own kind of resonance, or there's a weird sound to it that I don't know how to explain, but it just stands out as being too exact. We'll listen to that in slow motion. Keyboards are tuned to 440 hertz. Human voices aren't. So when we're listening to a voice, this is why it just sounds like it's an instrument. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the future, when we're listening to or trying to listen to a voice, maybe the isolation software isn't going to recognize the human voice anymore because it's sounding too much like a keyboard and it thinks it's a keyboard, because vocal cords can't keep a note that exact to literally kind of 0 cents either way. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But I mean, as it is on this chart, we can see that it's being used. And by the way, the human voice doesn't and isn't calibrated to 440 hertz. But pitch correction is. So that's why when you're looking at a pitch corrected vocal, it's always on these lines, especially when it's been done quite badly, where it's hitting the lines all the time.
From now on, your troubles will be miles away.
I mean, the sad thing is that you've almost got to try and kind of ignore the pitch correction going on, because she's obviously got a great voice. Even, it's almost like her voice is so good that you've got to imagine it without the pitch correction, because the pitch correction makes it sound worse. You can hear with her vibrato, her control, that she's got a better voice than this sounds like. So it is a shame that pitch correction is making great singers sound worse than they are actually in real life.
Here we are, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us.
I think that kind of thing, I've mentioned about pitch correction before, where when there's a held note, but there are different consonants and vowels that are going on, and the singer is shaping those consonants, because it's all getting squashed to a line, that's where it starts to sound, again, a little bit weird.
Faithful friends.
So as soon as you have any held note after each of those words, it's just that obvious kind of computer sound going on.
Who are dear to us, gather near to us once more through the years.
Yeah, the problem is that when you get, especially this F sharp 3, which is low in Lucy's range, when you get two held notes back to back that are on the lines, and even there, you can actually hear a little bit of that processing going on. At the front here, I believe the note that she sang was probably a little bit sharp, the expression that she is putting into it, but it's been pitch corrected out so that when it was going sharp, it's then instantly been snapped down to the A sharp 3. And I think you can just hear that processing happen. Yeah, look here. You can actually see a little bit of a shaping going on, which is now taking the note to where the pitch correction wants it rather than where it actually went in real life. So it's not as obvious as the auto-tune flip, just snapping it that quickly, but it's the pitch correction version of that.
We'll always be together if the fates allow, and a shining star upon the highest bough.
Another thing that you can hear in Lucy's voice is that she allows it just to kind of flip up into her head voice and that cry sound. So when I say that her voice is better than this, the techniques that you can hear outside of the pitch correction, that's what tells my ear that she's got a great voice. But the pitch correction is taking away from that. So you kind of get, all this kind of thing going on for most of the performance. So you get kind of 90% pitch correction, 10% of an amazing voice that actually I want to hear the voice. I don't want to hear the pitch correction bit. Yeah, I don't know why pitch correction is being added by not only singers themselves, but then people that are producing singers and even not signed artists. They're being produced in such a way that pitch correction is being used really heavily. So we're not really getting unique vocalists anymore. Every single vocalist is being put into the pitch correction barrel. They're all in there. And then, singers in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, they're all unique in their own way because their voices weren't put through this plugin. They all have to have this thing on their voice. So this is why they all start to sound the same. That you don't get the unique mix of old voices because they weren't all put through this same thing. So they could literally sing how they wanted to, and their voices went where their voices went, and that was it. You just had to decide whether you liked it or not. But they had the freedom as artists to just express themselves however they could with their vocal cords. And the other thing is that I get messages from people saying, oh, why don't you feature more young singers on your channel? And the problem that I have is I'm not going to say that something's not pitch corrected when it is. So it means that it would be just video after video after video, and it's almost turning into that nowadays, where I'm just constantly saying that this has been pitch corrected, so we're not hearing the voice as it was when it was recorded. I don't see the point in saying, if you want to get this sound, this is the plugin you need to buy. Because then you think, well, what do you do with that? You know, it's like me saying, right, if you want to learn to play this particular song on the guitar, then press play on this CD and listen to it, and then pretend to do it. You know, it's really weird, and it's even worse in this case because it's a great singer who's been pitch corrected. So you think, well, yeah, it's almost like somebody pretending to do something that they could do better themselves. So you think, well, why use this thing that's pretending to be more accurate than the vocalist when it's actually less accurate? It makes it sound less human. I'm going to continue my point about featuring younger singers, younger artists, and especially singers on YouTube who might have millions of views but do have pitch corrected vocals, because I'm happy to look at them, but I just know that every video is just going to be like a broken record, because everyone will say, well, is this person pitch corrected? I said 95% of the time the answer is yes, especially in 2024 as we are now. But I even saw a video on Facebook which was a daughter and her dad singing, and it was like a video saying this is the first time they've ever sung together, and you know, the daughter had confidence issues, and then the father helped her to get over that by performing and singing, and this is them performing a duet together. And guess what? They're both pitch corrected. So now people that are giving, and obviously people underneath are saying, oh wow, so amazing, because they don't know that this is happening. The voices that we are listening to aren't their voices. And I guess this is the reason that nowadays everybody thinks that everyone now is an amazing singer, because back in the day, you didn't have the technology to make you sound like an amazing singer when you weren't. You had to be able to do it. Whereas now, there are cases where you get great singers who are pitch corrected, and I think Lucy's one of those, that she does have a great voice, but unfortunately some of her performances are pitch corrected, and yeah, so it means that especially the ones that get millions of views, of course those are the ones that people are going to ask me to analyze, but then obviously I'm going to tell you what's actually going on.
A merry little Christmas. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
And there we have it. Again, good example there of that last note, how we're perfectly on the line, but we're still allowed to have vibrato. Auto-tune would try and snap this to the F4 underneath, for example. So that's why it has kind of been phased out, really. But if you really have to use it, if you can't hit notes live, you will have to use a version of auto-tune in order to do that. But then again, I wouldn't be surprised now, especially with AI, if you tell a plugin, or maybe, I don't know, give people ideas to invent this, but with AI now, there's no reason, absolutely no reason why you cannot give AI artificial intelligence, if you don't know what it stands for, but I don't know how you wouldn't know that because it's all over the news, but there's no reason why you can't give AI a song for it to listen to and know which notes are supposed to be hit throughout the song in the verse and the chorus, pre-chorus, middle eight, you name it. It will know now the notes that are being hit by the voice, because if it can isolate the vocal, which it can do, it can isolate that vocal and plot where those notes should be. So now I say as a vocalist, okay, AI, I'm now going to sing this song, and whatever noise I make, you are going to make the note that you know it should be come through the microphone rather than my voice. So it would be the vocal. Oh, yeah. I guarantee you this is going to be the next stage, that for live, in order to achieve the same thing, you have your microphone going through the effects AI unit so that it's taking in your voice, it's adjusting that noise into the melody of the song, plotted at 440 hertz. Because it's easy for it to do. If I knew how to program it, if I actually pitched that to somebody who works with AI, I guarantee you they would say, yes, that can be done in real time. It's probably already in the works. Is everyone going to come to me to ask me if people are using pitch correction live? I mean, if they keep calibrating it to 440 hertz, that's the huge mistake everyone's making. If they keep on doing that, then I will be able to tell you that it is being pitch corrected, and maybe we'll have to have some kind of club that is a club for singers who are singing without any pitch correction, without any auto-tune, and it's just their natural voice. I know that I did have a look at Lucy's channel, and I know that she has been singing for a long time, so I am going to get another performance up on screen, and just for you to take a look at this. I don't know how long this was, maybe 4 years ago, something like that. But anyway, we'll just have a quick listen to this. So the first hum is stuck to the C4. So yeah, this performance from 4 years ago, something like that, has been pitch corrected. And as you can hopefully start to appreciate my problem with people saying, oh, look at this artist, look at this singer, look at this 13-year-old or 11-year-old or 15-year-old. And, you know, as soon as I listen to it, I know that it's pitch corrected. It's very difficult, especially when I do look at singers who were very young in the 60s and the 50s and the 40s, where it was them singing. So I can't really say that, over the top of that, oh, this person is as amazing as this person back in the 40s or the 50s. The technology didn't exist then to be bang on pitch the whole time. The singers had to be able to do it. So, yeah. I mean, another interesting thing about this is a song called Run, I believe, by Snow Patrol in the first place, but then Leona Lewis did a version, and that's the version that Lucy's doing here. And ironically, what I like about the Leona Lewis version is that it hasn't been pitch corrected, and in some parts she is noticeably flat. And I like the fact that I can hear she's flat of the note, because then you know it hasn't been edited. And this, the whole way through.
And I can barely look at you.
You'll see this kind of thing, that we're stuck to the lines so that the line disappears over the top of the line.
I'll be right beside you, dear.
And I think it would have been that, the G sharp 3 or G sharp 4, which was allowed to be a little bit flat. So with Leona's version, it'll be just below that line. The other thing, Lucy's voice, you can hear that even at this age, she has got technique. And again, this is just another case of pitch correction taking something away from her voice, that if it wasn't pitch corrected, it would sound better than this. So yeah, again, it is a shame. But again, it's the case in point that even going back years and years into somebody's performances on YouTube, who might have millions of followers, might have millions of views, but they've been pitch correcting their voice from a very young age, so that effectively, and it makes sense that if people can't hear it, they must think, wow, this kid has never missed a note in their whole life. Literally every single performance, they've never missed a note. So yeah, it's understandable that they might think they must be the most amazing singer ever because every performance is bang on. But once you know that every performance potentially is using pitch correction, then that's why it makes a bit more sense. But anyway, I just want to finish this video by saying that Lucy's voice is better than this. So go and check out her channel, and if you can, find live performances, because the ones that are covers that are set up like this, and this obviously isn't live. I say it obviously isn't live. She's singing into an SM58, which doesn't sound like this as a microphone, but also it's just absolutely not live. It's just done for a video, and there might be some people that get taken in thinking because she's holding a mic that it is live, but it's just a prop. And I think I've seen kind of worse ones than this, where they pretend to be in a studio and they're pretending to sing, and it's not live and it's pitch corrected, and it's all just a backing track. Anyway, thank you guys for requesting the previous video for me to take a look at. Like I said, it is a bit of a leftover one from Christmas, but yeah, as always, keep the suggestions and requests coming in the comment section below, and let me know what you guys think. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!